did? He put another record on.
You need dumb people in horror movies.
Smile 2 is a creepy ass movie because Smile 1 was a creepy ass movie, and you would think that you could make a creepy movie simply by smiling is amazing. That's what we're here to talk about. And let's bring on our partner for tonight who's going to talk about it with me, none other than Helen Keller. What is going on? Smile 2.
The doctor didn't make it. They had to check out. They were too freaked out. But we are here, and we are doing Smile 2, as the executive consultant has already said.
He was too creeped out. Smile 2 is a continuation, I think 3 days, if I remember correctly, after what happened in the events of Smile 1. Dude tries to kill somebody, fails the person he was trying to kill to set up for somebody else to take the disease he has, so to speak. Somebody else gets it, gives it to a singer. A lot of calamity ensued, what ends up being all in her mind, maybe. And then at the end, the entire earth. Well, yeah. It reminded me of a certain Tuesday in America. So let's go ahead and talk about it, though. Helen Keller, what are your thoughts? What are your favorite scenes and stuff when it comes to Smile 2?
Helen Keller, I see nothing, I hear nothing. That's how you survive in this movie series, apparently. Okay. Listen, Chris wanted to do Smile 2. I had so much to do, but I wanted to see it. I was lagging behind. Anyway, I finally ended up saying we're doing Smile 2. Can I just say this, Chris? I want to give you credit. I'm enjoying the Smile franchise. There are things in the first movie that I like and I dislike, but I kept watching. There are things in this movie that I like and dislike. Well, no. There are things in this movie that I like and I really liked, and I kept watching. Can they have a possible perfect trilogy in my eyes? Possibly. But I'll go more into depth as to what I thought about that. Chris, you want to go first or you want me to continue?
Unlike the next Doctor, I pretty much said what I had to say. I mean, I had some scenes in this movie, almost any smile scene, you know. But even the scene that I started, that I thought I was like, oh, this kind of campy, kind of cheesy. I don't think I'm going to like it. Mm-hmm. By the end of it, I was creeped out, right? And that's the scene where I guess the dancers were all smiling at her, and she just kept backing up.
Very effective.
Closer. And I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, this is stupid. And then it just kept doing it. I was like, you know what? Actually, now I think about it, I put myself in her shoes. This is really, really creepy. Right now, granted, she went to places where I'm like, I wouldn't be there by myself. I wouldn't be there, but it's find out. And you know what? It's the same basis on the first one. There's no escaping, right? You think there's a way out. There's no way out, right? The only person, ironically, that made it out was a black man. But besides that, I understand there's no way out. The autograph scene, like the scene behind you, very, very creepy.
Yeah.
Her being in her apartment and seeing that naked guy, the same person from the autograph.
That might have been the craziest moment in this movie.
It was crazy. And even though I knew when she was in a car with her best friend, I was like, there's something off about her best friend. There was always something off about her best friend.
Ride or die. She doesn't talk like this.
Ride or die, bitch. Ride or die. And then she listened to the thing, but just looking over and she just smiling.
That's my favorite part of these series, when they're like, go ahead. Who is it? Who's on the phone? It's me, B. It's Brittany, B.
Yeah, like there's no escaping it. Her mom killing herself, and you know, it's saying, "Oh, you did this, you did that, you were ungrateful." Her pouring herself out on that surgical table in that whatever restaurant they were in, I can't remember which one. And the dude just got up and said, "Okay," and then walked out. She's like, "Don't leave me." I don't want to say she deserved it, but she deserved it. Let me tell you why.
Fair point.
When you go to somebody's apartment and they're geeking out like that, I don't want to be on what you're on, right? And you disappear, and I'm calling your name 3 times. After that third time, I'm leaving. Like, so many times, I feel like she should have left well enough alone, and she didn't. And I don't want to say you deserve what you got. You deserve what you got. There was no scene that really caused me to jump like that, but like I said, creepy scenes and scenes that almost had me jumping to the point where I give them respect. The scene where she was watching the person on the video, because it was sending a video message, and then she looked to the left, and the guy was just there, smiling and all that crap. A lot of scenes. You saw it in the trailer, but the scene where the guy appears behind him, and then, classic. I think that's going to be one for, I heard Wayne's Brothers make another scary movie. They might want to study that.
Wait.
Just creepy. Just creepy. Your thoughts?
All right, listen, Chris has hit on a lot of the same points. He brought up this scene right here. That was great. He brought up, I don't know if he had leprosy or what, but this is actually a real person in the movie, not a hallucination. However, the scene in which Chris is talking about, and he's like a fanatic, and the scene, the hallucination is that he had stripped down to his dirty drawers, literally. I don't want to go more graphic than that, and was standing right outside of her bedroom while she was in her living room, looking at her, casting shadow. It was very, very effective because it's a horror within a horror. Like, she's already sleep deprived at this point. She doesn't know if this is real, this really happened. So it would make sense that this guy somehow did break in there and he had been just looming about her apartment while she wasn't there. On top of the fact of when you see how strong the illusions, or I'll call them constructs, are in this sequel, which I have a theory on, you have no idea what they would do. Jumping to another scene with the dancers, and I wish I had a picture of that, when the dancers are in a hallway and they're almost playing like red light, green light, where if you look away, for a moment, then they can move. Okay. Think Weeping Angels if you know Doctor Who and everything like that. And they all have that Richter smile on their face. Okay. Very, very effective. And then they start to cheat. Okay, the closer they get to her, where they're just moving ever so slowly, bodies undulating, and it's almost like an amorphous blob of human bodies and hands, and that's how the scene culminates. Which, with that same guy's behind me, if you could see him with the same, I don't know if it's lepratic or leper covered hand, arm going into her throat. You know what I mean? Which I think is the turning point in the scene. I don't want to spoil the movie because the movie is still out in theaters if people haven't seen it. But Chris, you know what I'm talking about as to why things go the way they do. I think that was actually the turning point. As Morris, who I don't have a picture of, tried to warn her what would happen. In this movie, they do what I like sequels to do. If they expand the universe, and you learn a little bit more, just a little bit if you pay attention. The demon or creature, whatever, says, "I like being in your skin." Morris tells her that it feeds off of trauma. So the more trauma you have, we know her whole life has been traumatic. We see how her mother is with her, but on top of that, her drug addiction, her drug abuse, and the fact that we find out she did in fact kill and cause the accident of this person that she says she loved and everything like that. And the friend was right in what she said, that you're I forget exactly verbatim, but basically you're chaotic and you hurt everybody in your life. So they were right about that. So the creature was even more nourished than before. I think if it could have stayed another week, it would have stayed another week because there was so much to feed on. And I think hence, this is my theory, the illusions were so real, and she couldn't break the reality. She could never see the distinction. Whereas in the first one, she had the trauma, yes. And if you look at all the other ones, I suspect that the creature leaps into, because they could pick anybody. I suspect there's only certain ones. Hence, when we see Joel in the beginning, the cop, as Chris mentioned, the people that he's going after are known criminals who got away with murder. They would have a lot of guilt, and the creature would find it nourishing and would not want to leave them. So again, I really enjoyed this movie. There was a lot more. I thought it was very effective. The last maybe 30, 40 minutes, I was holding my bladder full of soda. I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to miss anything. But like Chris said, you got these moments where they're like, and they do that violin, and it's like that jump, but it's an effective jump scene. And I'm like, I can't do one more of these because I might lose it. You know what I mean? So I had to time it right. So it's really, really great. And one thing that I just really appreciate is the practical effect, if you've seen the first one, of the creature itself. When it finally makes its appearance, it's almost like you're getting to see Jigsaw rise up from the floor again in Saw 1. It's always effective. It's always in a new way, but it looks so practical. It's so elongated. It's human, yet it's not. And all of the mouth splits are just horrifically beautiful in their own uniqueness, but familiarity in the same way. It was just very, very good. A lot that I liked about this movie. Chris, great pick to pick Smile 2. I didn't know if I would like it. Very, very good. And all of them I thought were better than the Dear Doctor, because she wasn't listening to anybody. But Skye Riley, she said when Morris came to her and he told her those things, which I think he was a real person for one reason. he told her the way to defeat the monster, and the monster is never going to tell it how to defeat itself. But he said, it's already been 3 days. So after this point, you're not going to be able to tell reality from fiction. And he was absolutely right. 3 days, as Chris says, since the first movie, and the police detective knew he had today, and that's it. So he was willing to risk anything with these extremely dangerous, I think they were supposed to be Eastern European mob guys or whatever like that, drug dealers. So he knew it was make or break. So when he saw the guy there, he was like, I'm sorry, nobody was supposed to be here, but I gotta go. I can't risk, it any longer.
This wasn't meant for you.
Yeah. And we see that it did take him, and he was affected, even though we usually see the POV. We see that he was, because that is Fragoli, the guys whose house Chris mentioned that Skye Riley goes to. And he's in the back room. Listen, he left a pile of powdered sugar on that table. Now, as zoomed up as he was, there's no way he's leaving that sugar alone that long. No way. And he's in that bedroom. When all of your instinct tells you after he pulls the katana on you, get out the house, get out, get out, get out. If you don't get out, that means you want more of what's coming. And she got more than she could handle. And I thought it was a brilliant way to expand the universe, because you could take this movie anywhere, and it doesn't have to be tied into any of these things, except that we saw the Skye Riley concert at the end. Spoiler alert, okay? We saw the Skye Riley concert, and now this is televised globally. We have no idea what the ramifications, but it's a smart way to expand the universe without breaking the rules of the universe. Very well done. Thumbs up from me, no doubt.
Oh, we give a thumbs up? That's perfect. Since it's a one-off, we can do it a little bit differently here. Definitely gets a thumbs up from me because, hey, I loved it. I'm not sure about a sequel for me. I don't think a sequel will be right for it because they pretty much, kill planet Earth. But it'll be interesting to see, and I definitely will be seeing that if it does come out. But,
yeah.
Thumbs up for me. Really good. One of the best horror movies out there, say, in the last 5 years, if not 10 years. Very well and very effective. So, hey, that's pretty much all it we have for us. Thank you so much for watching us here. For Helen Keller, I'm the exec consultant, and we will see you next time right here on Unpopular Review. Good night, everybody.